It's homecoming in Newark, Delaware this week, and the Tigers hope to spoil all the festivities. The Tiger Football Report starts now.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
Wise Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and it's locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate-covered pretzel. How can you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Football Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Rob Ambrose. And coach, this week, the Tigers take the short trip up 95 to Newark, Delaware, to take on a Delaware team that comes into the game with a record of 5-2. They have won their last 3 ball games in the CAA. They have just 1 loss in the conference. It's their homecoming. Last year they finished 7-4, just missed the playoffs. Many would say that they could blame the Tigers for not making the playoffs. This is a Delaware team with a rejuvenated football program. Going to be 22,000 Blue Hen fans there, minus the couple thousand Tiger fans that show up. This is going to be a wild Saturday afternoon of football.
If you say so. It's just another football game. It's just another football game. It's one that's close to home, one we won't get home at 2:30 in the morning from. But yes, it's not lost on any of us that probably the reason they didn't get in last year is because we beat them at in the fourth quarter, and they probably got this one circled on their calendar. From the head coach's perspective, but more from an alum's perspective, I kind of like the idea that somebody has us circled on their calendar, although I don't know why you would ever play that team on homecoming, but so be it.
For the players on your team, I'm sure it's going to be great to walk into a stadium that is full and they want to do nothing but make those people unhappy. It's got to be much more exhilarating than walking into a stadium where there's 2,000 people.
Yes and no. From a player's perspective, when you're playing football, you don't care if there's 5 people or 500 million people watching. You're playing the guy against you. The only people that care about the number of people in the stands are the people that don't play. No, there's a job to be done. 11 guys got to go beat 11 guys. We got to do it 6 seconds at a time, and we got to do it for 60 minutes, or at least till they tell us we can't play anymore. The rest is truly for show. That can be a distraction if you let it. We've had long conversations about distractions, and I think very slowly but surely we've stopped worrying about who we play. We just worry about the standard of play of which we expect of ourselves. And then we're going to try to hold that standard and hold each other accountable to it.
This past week, Tom Flacco, Joe Flacco's brother.
Don't you lose money every time you say that now?
Something like that. Tom Flacco was named the CAA Offensive Player of the Week. Troy Reeder of Delaware was named the Defensive Player of the Week. As special as Tom Flacco is on the offensive side of the ball, Troy Reeder is that special on the defensive side.
I would agree. He's one of the best linebackers to ever play in this league, and it's a hefty statement. And I'm going to add to that he's got two guys behind him at safety that are probably the two best safeties in the league. Not to say anything bad about everybody else, but Brown and Adderley are something special. And I would say, everybody's commentary about our offense this year and all the gaudy numbers and all that good stuff. Defensively, these guys probably play as well, as hard, and as physical as 11 as anybody we've seen all year, including Wake Forest.
Keogh is a quarterback this year. He's been there for a long time. This is his 4th year in the program, but really the first time he's played it all. So obviously he's going to know the offense like the back of his hand. His numbers aren't gaudy, but he's got 2 receivers, including their former quarterback, Joe Walker, that are averaging 20 or more yards a catch. So even though maybe he's not throwing it 40 times a game, when he does, he's being effective.
He manages their offense the way it needs to be managed. They're a run-first, pound you, beat you up kind of team. They're gonna run inside, they're gonna run outside, they got big backs, and they got great skill on the outside. So they're going to keep doing it, and then they're going to play pass. And when you're busy trying to stop the run, because they can really do it very, very well, they're going to hit you for big plays. So you just define the defensive game plan. Stop the run and don't give up big plays.
This is going to come out of left field. Bill Belichick always likes a left-footed punter because he says, guys aren't used to the spin that a ball comes down. When you're playing on defense against a left-handed quarterback, does that make it any more odd than playing a right-handed quarterback because you're not used to seeing it?
It's a hard one for me because I'm ambidextrous and mostly left-handed, so I lived that life. No, the spin's a little different. It might be different for the guys catching the ball, and people tend to say that a left-handed passer looks awkward just because they're so used to the body movements of a right-hander. But nah, in the end, it's nothing. The ball's coming. Once he throws it, it's over.
All right, so your offense is putting up numbers that are coming close to matching the 1993 Tigers, which were the most prolific offense in school history. You're averaging just under 485 yards a game. That team averaged 493 yards a game. You may be facing your best defense of the year coming into this ball game this week.
I suppose up to this point, sure. But I mean, we've played some pretty good defenses. What was Villanova's defense ranked before we play them? What was Stony Brook's defense ranked before we play them? We play in a league where people are just good, and after Delaware, there's more good. So it's good on good from here on out, and we're just going to have to do our job, do it as well as we can do it, and see where the chips lay.
For those of us that will be there watching, it's exciting because you've got 2 teams that are playing at a very high level. That should make this a fun game just from that aspect.
Oh, I would agree. This is a fan's delight. I would say the rest of the season is a fan's delight. You're going to see really, really good football teams with really good football players and really good coaching when seasons are on the line. And if you can't create a sense of urgency with an offense, defense, and special teams that way, you're never going to do it. This is a great time for football, especially in Baltimore.
You talked about the October Blues. I'm assuming that you don't think you're going to have any problems getting your players up for this one?
No, it's the grind. It truly is the grind of the Groundhog Day type lifestyle of being a Division I athlete, and it's really hard. And if you're not playing the sexy, deadly opponent, you can lose your focus. Ask Ohio State. Not that we're in their category, but ask Ohio State. And you can't look down upon anybody, especially in our league. So, no, it's a big game. But then again, they're all big. We're fighting for our season every single play, and we're just going to keep doing it.
So the Tigers will take on the Blue Hens in Newark this Saturday, game time 3:30. Gordy Combs and I will have the action for you starting at 3:15 on CBS Sports Radio 1300 and TowsonTigers.com. So for the head coach of the Tigers, Rob Ambrose, I'm Spiro Morekas. And by the way, next week, we're going to take the show on the road. Come on out to the taping as we will be at the Green Turtle in Towson next week at 5 o'clock as we will shoot the Tiger Football Report then. So come on out, say hello to the coach. Anyway, for head coach Rob Ambrose, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Tiger Football Report. And as always, go Tigers.